informational session is no different than a regular one, besides that we are. You just go ahead and skip ahead to the library reports.
Okay.
It's the basic informational session. So whenever you guys start, but let me start. Screen. Skipping since. And we're going to adult services, which Kayla so nicely will be presenting for adult services.
Say is out today. I have his little notes here. So the first one is, it says, I visited 9 little libraries and donated 99 books. And pictured up there are the BTX Health, McNair Park, and Stell Middle School little libraries. So the ones that I think they'll in order of appearance. So yeah, BTX Health, McNair Park, and then Stell Middle School. And then for the Little Seed Library, the April stats, we had 70 patrons sign up stating that they took seeds and or plants. And then the plant of the month is going to be the lavender glow cake. So those are the ones that they'll be putting out for the month of May. Next slide. Last month, their events, they did the moon-shaped wreaths, which had 26 patrons in attendance. They also did the National Library Week Golden Egg Scavenger Hunt. Had 56 patrons for that, so that was a big thing. And then they also had the Planet Trivia Night. So that was the Earth Day trivia that they had 12 patrons participate. And we have our 3 winners there. The prizes were an armchair, which she's sitting in, that's so funny. She's sitting on the armchair, a citronella candle, and the crane statues. Let's slide. And then for this month, the one that's going on today, starting at 6, is the Manicures for Mom. They're going to do manicures for moms, and they're also going to make friendship bracelets. And I believe Myra is providing a snack while supplies. And then for Let's Get Cooking, they're making cowboy caviar, which I have never heard of until this Let's Get Cooking. I believe that's it. Have questions? I probably won't be able to answer them. And then I'm presenting for Children's Services, so I can move it along. In April, we had our birdseed and rainbow bookmarks. For the birdseed, we had Redfish Recycling come do a presentation on recycling. Patrons are actually very attentive. They had a lot of good questions on recycling and what they could put in the bins. For our regular programs at Maine, we had 10 combined programs for an attendance of 239. In Southmost, we had 9 for a combined attendance of 130. So pretty good month for this month. We have our regular programming going on, but our kids' nights, we're going to do Lego keychains. So we have a lot of Legos from really old Lego sets that we're going to repurpose to make keychains. And then we are partnering with Brownsville Wellness Coalition, their Happy Kitchen department. They're going to be joining us to do a kids cooking class. So that'll be tomorrow at Maine. Is the cooking class, and then for us it's Lego keychains, and then we'll swap next. For summer reading program, the theme this year is Unearth the Story. So think dinosaurs, think archaeology, artifacts, all that fun stuff, genealogy even. So if you're not familiar with our summer reading program, it is a reading challenge. It's an incentive to keep kids reading over the summer. It's for all ages from 0 to David Attenborough just turned 100, so I'm going to say 100 years old. Anyone can participate. We have our baby and toddler challenge for the little ones who can't read. We've always had parents be like, "Well, my kid can't read," and I'm like, "Well, you can read to them and also do some other little challenges with them." And then For ages 5 and up, they actually do have their reading challenge, and they have to read a certain amount of books over the summer. We don't assign anything. They can read whatever they want. This is supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be. In our display cases out here, we're already displaying some of our prizes. So some of the things that we're giving out, thanks to CCLS and Friends of the Library, include an iPad, a Nintendo Switch 2, and a whole bunch of other really fun stuff. So that kicks off on June 1st. We have our little kickoff party where patrons come, they can register for the program, get a goodie bag, enjoy some snacks, and if they have any questions, we're all available to answer their questions. So we do the main in the morning and Southmost in the afternoon. Next slide. This is just more about what's going on over the summer. Patrons get this packet and it has like what presenters are going to be there and then all the important dates. So like the deadline for registration, the deadline for returning their reading log, that sort of thing. Some of our presenters this summer in Sea Turtle Inc. And Gladys Porter Zoo. We're also doing a virtual presentation. It's a company out in New Jersey. It's called Dinosaurs Rock. They're going to be shipping us some fossils for the kids to do something with during the presentation. I don't know exactly yet. So that's our first time doing a virtual presentation, a big one like that. So we're going to see how that goes. And then we're also having the Dinosaur George Traveling Museum join us for at the very beginning of the summer. They're going to bring like large fossils. So they're setting up a literal like dinosaur fossil museum here inside the library at South because we have the space. So it's gonna be really fun. And then of course, as we go through other meetings, we'll give you some more information and on our specific programs. But that is my last slide. Does anybody have any questions?
Okay, that's me. So we'll go over our teen services April stats. So we started off on April 7th with Poetry Night because it was National Poetry Month in April. I have a little disclaimer in a coming up slide because April is a heavy testing month in BISD and we felt it for the teens here. So we only had, go ahead and go to the next slide, please, Michelle. Thank you. We had 12 guests at our libraries. I think it was about 5 and 7, you know, but that group was super passionate about decorating our poetry. So they did create a lot of original works and it was fun. Okay, next slide. This one picked up a little bit. We had about half and half, about 11 and 11 at both libraries. And it was a vision board activity and it was a big hit. I think if we'd done it maybe another month, we would have probably had more traction, but April is such a heavy hitter month for AP tests and EOC tests and stuff. Nevertheless, we did all right with 22 on April 9th. Next. Teen Anime Night was on April 28th. We did Tokyo Godfathers and DIY mug craft. And again, we had about 21-ish patrons. So for our 3 teen programs, we averaged almost 70 people. Too bad, not too bad for April. Next slide, please. This was our big hit. We went to Teen Fest representing Brownsville Public Library. It's a partnership with Healthy Futures Texas. And we hit 64 teens here, 54 parents and kids also joined us. And when I say kids, it was like five kids. Everybody was adult or teens for the most part. And what we did was we surveyed the teens for what kind of programming they would really like to see at their library. And we bribed them by giving them little gold coins for the gotcha machine. And we had other giveaways and stuff, including we took about 100 books. There were probably about 18-ish left, and we donated those to Good Samaritan Center. So they were thrilled to take whatever we had left. So really a great and successful day. Lots of connecting with teens. Slide. So May, we already did the DIY piñata craft. I don't want to steal Sarah's thunder next week, but we ran out of everything pretty much. So it was way a hit and a half. This coming week on Thursday, we have a little design your own tote kind of craft where there's a design on the front and then you're going to use your craft paint markers to decorate the rest. So I have a feeling that we're going to run out of that too because May is right back up. And then we're ending on what I think I shared this last time with you. We're going to try that program and see how it goes. Our fingers are crossed that it's going to go well. And it just hit me, Mandy, that you said to put BPL on our flyers. I'll resend you ones that just make the BPL a little bigger if that's helpful. Lovely. Thank you so much for advertising at DISD. Next. So summer reading, our portion for teens is also going to be part of Kayla and Youth Services big SRP this summer. We have locked in a date for our teen lock-in night. It is going to be September 4th. So we are planning on about 25-ish teens to join us here. It will be hosted by Southmost. And we're going to literally lock the kids in and give them a great night. And then Battle of the Books Assistants. I'm hoping we can get some more feedback from librarians at the end of year DISD library meeting. So more information on that coming soon. And I think that's it. Thank you, Michelle. Any questions? Thank you.
That. Definitely. So just a quick update for that. So we had our intro to soldering events. Pretty good numbers at both rankings. I think it's solder a little circuit board that it's noise like printer. That good. Turn out for that. This month we did our DIY pump patches, which yeah. I think that one was not here sadly, so I didn't really see it myself. But we have a bunch of cool pictures on Facebook. We've been checking out. They did their own iron-on patches. We had fabric. They were able to sew it together. They ironed on to. I think some people ironed on the clothing, but. Yeah. And other programs we still have ongoing. We have our reading buddies. We have phone numbers are main than we do at Southmost, but we always hear back that animals we get adopted either the following day or the day after people that come in, and we are still keeping up with the Pokemon Club here at Southmost. Things to have good numbers. And then next slide. The spending for the rest of this month is our next Arduino class. So there'll be programming a servo motor and the Pokemon Club here as well. Same. The options to choose from, depending on which like. That's it for me. Any questions? Some of the dogs that came to our reading buddies. I think they both got it. All of them got adopted. Oh my god! Yeah. So we won't have that. We're not having the reading buddies this month just because it's a shorter month for Makerspace, but it's coming back in the summer. All I got.
Hoping they get cool author book names. Thinking about that.
They all have interesting names already. I think triplets were on the Sanderson sisters. And I think that black one, I remember that. But yeah. Mark has a good name for you.
Giant stories in schools and we were able to introduce the children to their outside librarians here at Peel, as well as integrate their students into their system. Allowed them to jump around into different crafts. But we did have at least 3 different patrons come by the next week to Maine and say hello again to our children's department. So we always got them in our building a little bit afterwards.
it really helps to kind of show literacy and story time. And it's an outside entity, so it's not just your school doing. Here we saw 113. Did branches at main branch, what we did is we had an informational table, text services controlled, they were able to see 213 specifically at their desk where they talked about different databases that we now have. We have ancestry.com, we have more says, as well as giving a couple more library cards, even though our front desk was like less than 50 feet away from them, they still were able to get more library cards to go through and have those more personal conversations. That's something that patrons don't necessarily see because it's invisible, so that really helped. Here at Southmost, our staff did an awesome job by creating this giant tree. What we did was have people put what they liked about the library and what made this a beautiful place for them on each one of the leaves. So different volunteers and tours and regular patrons came in, put words to this tree so that you could see what the library means for them. Some of them were quirky, like, oh yes, you have good AC, which we're not doing, but
That's the time we do.
we're very much about the staff and how grateful they are for all the help that they give. A couple of things about Makerspace and Pokemon and everybody allowing them to be themselves and Mario Day. So it was just really affirming to see all the different ways that the public appreciates us that we might not think of every day when we're helping everyone. So I really appreciated it. Staff worked really hard to make such a beautiful tree, and I hope it led to more positivity in myself during that month. So even when we were putting it up, like I was taking pictures and texting Brenda, like, we need some happiness in our day. Here's the new note for today, so we can feel a little bit better. Definitely really eye-opening that weekend of Love Fire. We appreciated that. And as Miss Lucy showed you, we also have library-based bags, kind of showing that library is all about joy and a place for everybody, which is definitely what we feel here. So I definitely appreciated, as well as our staff and other city departments taking the time to appreciate the library workers here on all levels and appreciating everything they do to all the city departments. So kudos to all of them for recognizing and acknowledging this is a space that we need. That's all I have for you. Have any questions?
My name is Lisa. I'm going to talk about utilization. So I wanted to remind you guys that the digital library is always open 24 hours. I want to concentrate on Libby. This is our ebook and e-audio platform. I don't know if you can tell, but on that middle screen, not middle screen, the middle graph there, that is based on users. We did launch on January the 29th, and we started with 71 users. And then come to April, we're at 530 users. So we still have a long way to go to increase that usage, but I mean, it is climbing, as you can see on that graph. On the one on the right, that is usage as far as checkout by format. The darker shade is e-audiobooks and the lighter shade is the ebooks. So according to this, e-audiobooks is a little bit more popular right now, but it's still really close. It's like 57% base to 40%. So, I mean, it is growing. Next slide, please. Of course, with checkouts, we have 6,102 checkouts with 1,033 folds. From that, 3,509 are e-audio, and then 2,593 is ebooks. We do have 612 folds for audiobooks and 421 for folds. I'm trying as much to put, to load up the books, but I mean, they're really popular. So we're trying to work as fast as we can to make sure everybody gets those items that they want. The average is 26 monthly checkouts that we have. So it is increasing and it is moving. longer we have it, I think those numbers would really tend to rise pretty quickly.
Hey, how many ebooks do we have in the collection? Do you know, more or less?
Yes, we have more ebooks than we do audio. I did not write it down. But I can get those numbers for you. And this one is our press reader. This is our electronic newspaper and magazine. I did have numbers for last year compared to this year. The difference is that press reader was tied to Boundless. So in October is when we started having issues with them. So that you can see the numbers went down because we had 8,000 in October of last year. This year we had 6,903. And as the months went by, you started seeing the little dip. Now April is starting to raise up again. We're back at 4,892. And I do want to mention that press reader has 60 plus languages available there. And that is based on articles read. And then this one's just top interest that the patrons are actually interested in. Lifestyle, 76%, all the way to entertainment, which is 53%. The top newspaper is a Wall Street Journal, followed by USA Today, and then the top magazine is Economics. And of course, you can access this from our web browser or our press reader app. We no longer have to tie it into our electronic books. It's on its own now. So we're hoping that the numbers rise. And for this one, no account is needed as long as you have your library card. But if you want to create your free account with them, all it does is keeps a tab of your favorites and your downloads so you can use further. And that is it.
Just last month, I had requested the databases, like usage and the list of
Yes.
databases.
I'm going to do that next month. I'm going to try to concentrate on 2 at a time so that way you guys can kind of see.
Okay.
Readers, I know like Kindle has like, you buy the reader and you're able to do the article at the same time. Is that available?
For the books,
For newbie?
some of the titles, yes, not all of them.
Okay.
It's a very small percentage of it.
Okay.
We try to add anything that we purchase for the library. If the license is there and available, we try to put it in the.
Put it together.
Yeah.
It's a nice feature.
English and Spanish titles.
I don't have it off the top of my head, but I can get that. It's not a big difference. They don't have that many language.
Okay, we have a quorum now. Good. Yeah, and then we can go back and do what? I'll do the updates first, but. And then we can just tidy it up with the first parts, so. Updates, we really I only have 2 really. In relation to our building at the main branch, the construction has finished, so we were doing the drainage upgrades. They completed it about 2 weeks ago, finally, and so there's now an our drain works perfectly fine in all parts of the building now, so yay. And then the second thing is that we are forming a collab with PUB. And so they have installed a kiosk at the main branch. They actually got delivered last week. And they went and installed it today. When it got delivered 2 weeks ago, they went and installed it today. They actually, right before the meeting, emailed saying that it was ready to go. So probably within this week, you'll see a post going up about how it's available for anybody who has PUB who wants to pay their bills there can. It is only taking credit cards and e-checks. So there will be no cash involved. PUB is completely in charge of it. All we're doing is hosting the machine. Any issues, PUB will handle it as well. And so that's just an additional service that we're providing to the community. It is only at the main branch, mainly because this part of town is Magic Valley, so there wouldn't be a point in having it here, right? But, we're trying to go ahead and expand, do some collaborations with other entities and seeing how it be serviceable to our community. As I previously mentioned, we also partnered up with municipal court So we do have a municipal court clerk at both of our libraries in case patrons have any issues or also wish to pay any of their tickets there as well. So we're trying it out and seeing how we can expand those services. And that's
I did have a question about last part about the municipal court. Is that like, how publicized is that?
municipal court has been handling all of the publicity and now they've done through the city's social media, they did go ahead and do ads. I know they've got signage at their offices there downtown at City Plaza that's saying that these are also satellite options for people to come to. It's free.
We have to.
Is there any other questions that you guys might have before we adjourn?
I want to make a suggestion. One of my suggestions, okay. So I'm always seeing my grandmother, she's 89 years old. And you know how the senior citizens are with technology, so every time I go, I teach her a little something. This is how you open up a text, this is how you send a text, this is how you take a picture, this is how you can go back to look at your pictures. And then my uncle got mad at me because last month I downloaded Sheen and she'd been shopping like crazy. He's the one that you know pays off her credit card. It's like, what did you do? I'm sorry. But I think that is a demographic group that could really benefit from especially technology classes here. And I was thinking, well, how can we do outreach to senior citizens? We have tons of adult daycares. And we could reach out to them, invite them, ask them to bring them, you know, their patrons on a regular basis, maybe every 2 weeks, maybe every month. And then maybe have, I mean, they can use everything here, you know, like check out boats, check in, and then maybe perhaps have like little classes for them where we can teach them, especially like, you know, oh, you know, if you get this suspicious text, don't click on it because, you know, it might be a scam or, you know, that's what I do with my grandmother. So I was thinking, how can we do that? Yes. Some kids are adult computer literacy classes, basic technology courses, as well as having through North Star, where it kind of teaches them how to use basic computer skills like click left, click right, as well as how to identify a scam or a fraud. So that's one of the ways that we help with technology. During COVID, we have been going to the senior centers to have interactions like a story time, a discussion board, and do crafts. But once we got past COVID, it was maintained that due to like staffing levels and having the supply base for it. We have, however, still been with Jose sending them flyers that I'm aware of. I can double check back with them to make sure that's.
I think even like calling the directors, you know, personally, giving them a call, inviting them, hey, come, you know.
So I know Jose did try that once, Schools had to reopen our building for regular services, but they also had limited with constraints in their own schedule that they had to meet. We can try again and see if maybe now is the time to pick up, right? But we have attempted it in the past week.
I know my grandmother, she goes to an adult daycare, and I think, you know, I speak to the director sometimes because I've become friends when I go visit her sometimes, and I know they're looking for activities for them to do because they always do like loteria and stuff like that, but they can, you know, like every day it's the same thing, but it would be nice for them to have outings. I know like my Triple T kids from Lincoln Park, they use the library and I know they benefit and they love it, and
they're telling me that they're checking out their books and, doing activities here, and they really enjoy it. So I think even our senior citizens I think they would enjoy coming. And sometimes, they can't drive themselves, but the daycare vans, they can bring them over. That's it.
Questions? Now that we have a forum, we do have the motion to adjourn. Like to motion?
Thank you.